Hi everyone, I'm Joey Alonso. Welcome to part 3 of my Acumatica tutorial series. So on this video, I want to discuss about generic inquiry in Acumatica. Okay, so first of all, why do you need to learn generic inquiry? So of course the number one reason is in order to get quick information from the system. So that means you can just get the information that you want without doing a formal report, no? So now, how will you do the generic inquiry? Of course, first of all, you need to know where to get the information that you want. Like for instance, on your screen right now is the invoices and memos in Acumatica. For example, I just want to make a list from this invoice wherein I just need the columns reference number, customer, date, and then the amount, for example. So first is I need to know what are the field names in the table for the information that I want. So in order to do that, you just need to go to customization and then spec element and then point to the field that you need. So in this case, you will see that it is the data class or the table is the AR invoice, and then the data field or the field name is the reference number. Okay, so same thing with the customer. If I point it here, it will be customer ID, and then if I go to the amount or the balance, so that is card doc val, but I want the amount, so this is actually a query or rig doc amount, and then the date is doc date. Okay, so once you know where's the table and the field names that you need, then that's the time that you can go to the generic inquiry in order to produce the information that you want. So to go to the generic inquiry, you go to customization and then generic inquiry. Okay, so first is you should name your generic inquiry. So for example, the name of my generic inquiry is maybe my inquiry 1, for example. Okay, and then once you name it, you can go at the bottom to fill all this. Okay, so first is the table tab. Okay, so here you need to specify which table you will use in your generic inquiry. So in our case, we will use the AR invoice as we have seen. Okay, so you just type AR invoice, so you will see here the list of tables with AR invoice. So in this case, this is the one we want, so I will select this, and then the alias will be the other name for the table. So I don't want to change the name, I just want it AR invoice, so I'll just leave it blank. Okay, then you can go to the results grid in order to specify what are the fields that you want to display on your generic inquiry. So in this case, I'll go here and then add the object AR invoice, and then the field, for example, I want the field the reference number, okay, and then schema field AR invoice reference number, then the doc date, okay, doc date, AR invoice doc date, and then the customer ID, AR invoice customer ID, and then of course the last one is the amount. So So that is query or rig doc amount, as we have seen. Query or rig doc amount. Okay, query or rig doc amount. Yeah, this one. Okay, so once I specified all these fields, I can now save the generic inquiry and then can view it immediately. Okay, so now my generic inquiry will produce the fields that I need. So as you can see, we have now the reference number, the date, and then the customer, and then the amount. So that's how easy it is, no, to create the generic inquiry. But of course, when you are doing an inquiry, you don't need all these records. As you can see, we have 5,216 records returned by the system, but we don't need all these things. For example, I just want the records of let's say August, from August 1 to August 2020, for example. Okay, so in that case, we need to make a filter for our information. Okay, so in order to do filter, let me go back to our generic inquiry. So on the parameters, you'll put here the parameter name, for example, start date, and then on which field you want to filter. So of course we want to filter on the doc date, which is the field for the date, and then here you will put here what is the display name for our parameter. So let's say I want to make it from, and then end date. So again, this will be AR invoice doc date. Then I will make it display name 2. Okay, so this parameter will be useless unless you put some condition in the system. You have to use them in order for the system know what will be the use for this start date and end date. So in our case, we will put it in the condition. So what we want is the records that is starting from the start date and then ending with the end date. So let's say I put August 1 to August 31, so it will only display those records from August 1 to August 31. Okay, so how to do that in the condition? So it's very easy. All you have to do is to go to the data field. I will say AR invoice doc date, is greater than or equal to start date, right? So okay, for those of you who do not have programming background, of course it's just a simple logic here, right? It's pretty simple. I mean, pretty straightforward condition, right? If you say a value is greater than or equal to a value, so it means that you are comparing that value to another field. So if I say the date should be greater than or equal to start date, so if my start date for example is August 1, so if the date of the invoice is August 2, of course it is greater than or equal, right? Or if it is August 1, it satisfies the condition equal to, so it's also included. But if the doc date is, for example, July 31, July 1, June 1, January, So those dates are less than. They are not greater than or equal to the start date, right? So in this case, they will never be included, right? So it's as simple as that. So same thing is if it is less than or equal, does not equal or equal, okay? So this is pretty straightforward to understand, okay? It's not that complicated. Okay, so of course that's not enough, right? We have also the ending date. So how do we use the ending date? So we will use the ending date in such a way that the AR invoice doc date should be less than or equal to our ending date, right? So if I say the ending date is August 31, so I said here less than or equal, right? So of course if it is September 1, that will never be included because it is not less than or equal to August 31. It's greater. Neither it is greater than or equal to August 1, right? So September will never be included. July and below will never be included. September and up will never be included. So only August 1 up to August 31 will be included using these conditions that I specified. Okay? So to prove that I am correct, let's execute our inquiry. Okay? But first we need to save it. Okay? So fortunately Acumatica is giving a warning that you did not save your inquiry. Okay? So as you can see, the date is automatically filled with the current date. This is September 15 here. This is our business date. Okay? So in this case, our table is empty. That means there are no records from September 15 to September 15. So I want to get only those invoices from August 1 to August. See? Just now I filled up this from August 1, so it already displayed the records. But of course the condition is from August 1 to September 15. So in that case, if there are some records in September, they will be included in our list. But I just want the list of the whole August. So I say August 31. So in this case, you can never find any records that is not August. Okay? Even if you go to the last page, nothing. There is no records that is not August. Okay? So in that case, it satisfies our condition. So that's the way to filter the records in generic inquiry. Okay, it's as easy as that, of course. So you can select any field that you want. You can also, of course, select a customer. For example, you want to filter only those records that are a bartender, for example, or art cages. So in that case, you just need to put here another filter, which is customer. So you select that customer and it will only display those customers. Okay? But I don't need to do that since you already understand. Because the concept of putting a filter for date will be applicable to any of the fields in Acumatica. Okay? Now another thing that you can see from our inquiry is that we have only the customer ID, right? So what if we want to display also the customer name? Now the customer name is not included in invoice. So normally in a RDBMS system or relational database system, the name of the customer or the name of the master will never be on the transaction. Normally it only store the ID or the customer ID in this case. So in order for us to get the name of the customer, you have to link the invoice to the customer table. Like for instance here, if I click this, it will open the customer. So we want this field, the customer name, right, in order to be displayed on our list. So we are now on the customer table. So how can I know what's the name of this field? So again, I'll go to inspect element and put it here. So we say that this is account name. Okay. So I want to display it on our list. So what I will do is I'll go back to our generic inquiry and then add that table, that customer. Okay. So I will add customer. I will type here customer. Okay, here it is. So I don't want to change the name, just customer. So now on this relation, you have to select the parent table and the child table that you will link. So in our case, our parent table will be the invoice, because this is our main table. Normally the parent table is the main table, and we want to join it to customer. Okay, now the next question is on which field they gonna join. So in our case, we are joining them through the customer ID. Okay, so in that case you will go here and then you select the parent field. So in our case, what is the field in the AR invoice? So the field in AR invoice is the customer ID, and then it should be equal to the field of the customer. So in our case, it's the B account ID. Okay, so just trust me on that. It's a B account ID. Okay, we don't need to check from the table. Okay, so customer ID equals to B account ID. So let us now save our inquiry and then view it. Okay, wait, the customer name is not displayed. You know why? It's because we didn't put it. As simple as that. So we have to put it in our result grid. Okay, sorry for that, I forgot. I'm so excited. Okay, so I will put it here. So I will select customer name. No, wait, I need to select customer and then account name. Okay, so here the schema is customer account name. Okay, so when I will see our generic inquiry now, I will save it first. View inquiry. Okay, so you can see the customer name is now here, right? So let me check if I can put it here. Okay, so it's as easy as that. You can drag the column and then put it there, and automatically it will arrange like that. So as you can see, I was able to display the customer name. It's as simple as that, right? Okay, so another thing that you can observe on our list is that these reference numbers are not sorted. No, they are not arranged properly. So if you want to sort a particular column automatically, all you have to do is to do the sorting. So in our case, if I go to the generic inquiry and then go to sort order, I will just add that field. So in our case, we want to sort it on the reference number. Okay, so reference number. So I want it ascending, so meaning from lowest to highest. So I will save it and then view the inquiry again. then see the reference number. Wait, as you can see here, there is a sorting that was automatically done by the system. So in order for me to effect the sorting that I have done on the generic inquiry, I need to clear this sorting. Okay, so yeah, until now I think it's not sorted. Is it sorted? 8658, 8631. Yeah, it is now sorted. As you can see, 63, 70, 72, right? Okay, so that's how easy it is, no, to do the sorting. So another thing that you need to know for the generic inquiry is, for example, you want to group the amount. So as you can see here, let's say I will sort again for the customer. So there is a AA customer here, bibimbap here, and then on another page there is bibimbap, right? So what if I want to group the customer into one and then get the total amount of sales per customer? Okay, so in that case I just want to display the customer and then the amount. Wait, the amount is here. So why the amount? Yeah, okay, so this is the amount. So I just want to display the customer and then the amount and then the total per customer. So all I have to do is go to the generic inquiry, and then on the result grid I just want to display the customer name. So I will remove reference number and then the doc date. So I will just display let me see if I can rearrange it. Okay, so it cannot be rearranged, so maybe I will just okay, I will just delete it first here and then I will put it here. Okay, customer, and then the account name, and then here customer account name, customer account name. Okay, and then on the last one is the amount, AR invoice, query or rigtalk amount, right? So query, AR invoice, query or rigtalk amount. Yeah, okay. So let's say I want to group per customer. So all I have to do is to go to grouping, then I will add here the AR invoice customer ID, customer customer ID, and then the next one would be the customer name. So customer account name, customer account name. Yeah, okay. So once I have this grouping now, I'll need to save it and then run. Okay, so as you can see, it is now grouped per customer, right? So as you can see, we have only one bibimbap. If I go to the other page, there's no other bibimbap. Okay, so that's how easy it is to make a generic inquiry in Acumatica. Okay, so anyway, if you have some question, you can just put it on the comments below. And of course, if you like this video, please click the thumbs up button, and of course please subscribe to my channel if you want to if you want me to be inspired, no, to do some more videos, because of course if I see that there are many subscribers, I will make more videos, no, to share my knowledge to you. So I hope you can subscribe to my channel, and of course thank you for watching. Bye for now.